Everyone, welcome to this session, this energy insight for the week of the waning quarter moon. We're in a waning quarter moon for October 28th to November 3rd. My name is Jackie Ellis. I'm from JackieEllis.com, and I am an intuitive guide and mentor, Reiki master. I see energy and I help people decode the energy within them so they can transform their life into a life that they love. My friends call me an energetics master. So, how I do these talks, these insights, is I get 3 messages specifically for the week from my spirit guides, and they're meant to help. They know the energies coming into the week, and they're meant to help people in various different ways, in various different situations, in how to decode the energies that they're feeling. And it may impact them from outside sources. It may be stuff that they're working on within, and you may actually hear these messages and not realize that they will impact you as big as they will. Oftentimes, from my own personal journey, I'll get these messages and I'll be like, yeah, of course that's what it means. And then something will happen through the week and I'd be like, I need to go back to my notes. I need to rewatch my own videos so that I can see what was being said here, because it impacted me in a way that I didn't expect. And the insights that are given and the assistance that the spirit guides provide not only help people like you, but they help me as well along my journey. So I want you to know that as I do this, I have a few notes jotted down, but not nearly what comes through. I actually prefer to step aside myself and allow my guides to talk through me and share the messages. So sometimes if it's uncomfortable for me because I'm working through it myself, I will find myself wanting to filter what is being said because I'm uncomfortable with talking about it, especially when it comes to things that are happening in the world. It's not something that I feel comfortable talking about. It's not something that I actually avoid the news on a regular basis, and so I'm not well versed as to what's happening in the world, because I figure if the world is ending, someone's going to tell me. And sure enough, my guides are leading me through in a healthy, supported way. So I feel like I'm good. So needed some coffee. Okay, so 3 messages for the week, and they're multi-layered as usual. So they can mean different things for different people in different situations. So try and explore what this means. I'd love it if you'd share it with friends and family, because it may actually be beneficial for them and in ways that you don't even realize. So without further ado, we're going to go with the first. Actually, before I get into the 3 messages, I'm going to recap what the domain is for this waning quarter week. Some of you may know this by watching my previous videos, but every week there is a domain of life lessons, of growth opportunities, and focuses for the week that I have been shown by my guides. And they follow the moon cycle. So not necessarily the calendar month, but the moon cycle. So we are in the moon, the waning quarter moon, and that is our upper chakras. So our crown, third eye, and our throat chakra. And I want you to, this domain is the domain around vision. So our big picture vision for our life. It is the domain about our dreams. What dreams do we have? What dreams are we working towards? What dreams do we want, or are we allowing ourselves to think as possible for us, or to explore what could be possible for us? It's the domain of identity. So this could be how we identify within our family environment, how we identify within our work environment, how we identify within our friend group, how we identify within ourselves. How do we see ourselves in different situations? And how do we think other people see us? What are the expectations we're holding around all of that? And does that fit with our big picture vision and our dreams for our life? It is time, and how we are using that time, and how we are perceiving time to work for us. And manifestation, it's how we are manifesting in our life. Are we focused on the lack and we're calling in more struggle, more strife? Or are we tethered to the lack in some way because we feel like we are overcoming something? When we are overcoming something, we are creating an environment that's energetically tethered to the past, tethered to the things that we need to overcome. But when we surrender to all that, which I will get to in other videos, and release it, then we are no longer tethered in that way, and we allow ourselves permission to look at what's possible for us and really manifest on a positive vibrational energy, positive vibrational frequency, so that we can call in what is waiting for us to call in. What we've earned already, being the people that we're being, healing ourselves and being the change that we need. This week is also the domain for certainty. So it is knowing and trusting that which we are guided to do, and that which we are guided to see within ourselves and be within ourselves, is with certainty, with absolute certainty, who we are right now, what we're meant to do. And even if it doesn't make sense, there is a higher purpose for it. There is a higher purpose for it. And I want you to understand that when we can step into that divine flow and know with certainty that we are being divinely guided, magic happens. Magic happens in our life, and in a good way, in a very good way. That's when we no longer are just surviving. We are thriving in our life. The red flags that you might be in the shadows, that you might be on that wider pathway and not in the narrow light pathway, is doubt. When you find yourself consumed with doubt or doubting what you're supposed to do, and it's stopping you, it's keeping you stuck there. or it keeps you busy trying to reconfirm that this is what you're supposed to do. It's, in those situations, it's, I need more evidence. I need more proof. I need more courses. I need more certifications. I need to do all these other things before I can step forward and be who I need to be. I've been there. I sometimes find myself back there, and I have to pull myself back. Pull myself back into alignment with the light. Another sign is being preoccupied with fairness. Have you ever gone down the down a pathway where all of a sudden you find it's like you're frustrated, and you're like, all of a sudden you find yourself, it's like your little child comes out and says, "It's not fair." Shadow, side of the road, bumpy terrain. Expect others to fix things. It's like somehow inside of you, you've given up fixing stuff for yourself, and you are expecting others to fix it for you, when all God wants you to do is step into your power and say, okay, what do I need to do next? And then do that one thing, one step at a time. If you find yourself complaining that life is happening to you, or complaining lots that, stuff, this has happened and that's happened and the other thing happened, oh, look what happened, and that's repeating the past, and that is a sign that you're in the shadows. Oh, look at that's happening again. It always happens to me. So, because you're repeating the same loop. You're repeating the same loop. And at some point, we need to choose whether or not we are wanting to continue down that same pathway, that same loop, or if we're going to step off that pathway onto a healthier one and release the old to allow the new to come in. Feeling powerless over time. Oh, this is a really big one for lots of people, because when we are too much in our masculine energy, we are very much busy, but we are busy with things that don't matter. We are busy with things that we think are what we need to do, but that three item list we turned into a 25 item list for the day. And now we have no time for ourselves. Now we have no time to finish what we actually should have been working on. And all of a sudden we have our deadlines, our time frames have smushed and condensed, and we are panicked because we doubted ourselves and did not do what we were supposed to be doing. And a lot of times, sometimes we need to slow down enough to hear what we need to hear. Sometimes we need to slow down enough so that we can trust that what we are hearing, and ask, okay, is asking if what we heard, asking if this direction is the right direction for you, is perfectly healthy. As long as we trust that what we're being told, yes, that is the right direction, then we take that step forward. It's asking our intuition and getting that response, and then trusting it and doing what we need to do. But when we don't do that, energetically a wall goes up, and we find ourselves doing other stuff, or finding going down rabbit holes, researching things that we didn't need to research, or watching videos that are just wasting time, or just whatever it is. But ultimately, if you are in the light, you are master of your time and space, always. So how can you be master of your time this week? What can you do to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing and not overworking yourself to the point where you aren't taking care of yourself? Because when we aren't taking care of ourselves, we are struggling mentally and emotionally and physically in a way that is not healthy for our well-being. Another big one, another big flag for this week is when we find ourselves lacking inspiration in some way, where we are either bored of what we're doing, and or we are blocked. We feel like we're blocked, like there's some sort of wall and we can't figure out what we're supposed to do next. Those are signs that we're stuck. And there's usually, if you're bored, you maybe haven't realized you need to ask the question of what to do next. Maybe you weren't ready up until now. Maybe you didn't realize you were bored. Maybe you didn't realize you were bored until I mentioned it just now. But if you're bored, then that is a sign that maybe you need to ask your intuition how you can shift things to bring more alignment with your passions in life. What can you do differently? And it doesn't have to be a major overhaul, but it can be just a different shift in perspective. It can be a different shift in what you're working on, that really aligns with your desires and passions for how you want to serve others. And when you do that, magic happens. Magic happens. It lights you up, and it changes things in your life, that it's a positive ripple effect through your life. If you are energetically blocked, meaning that you intend to move forward, but you don't know how to move forward, you try and ask, and you feel a wall go up, and there's nothing, there's no response. I want you to know that our mind is hardwired to answer us. Always. Our mind is hardwired to answer us always. Now the brain, it doesn't like uncertainty. It only knows what it's been programmed and conditioned, and it only goes by things that have happened to you in the past. So if there has been some things in your past that have created some fear around uncertainty, then moving forward in some way will create an energetic block, a wall in some way, and stop you. And you'll feel stopped in some way from understanding what that message is, or from seeing that pathway. And the best way that I have found is to really send myself love in these situations, and just bring up my inner child and explore with childlike wonder and adventure, and to see what's there, what's waiting for me, and then release whatever was holding me back. Release myself from whatever was holding me back, because I want that. That is what I wanted. And then all of a sudden the brain releases it easier. There's less resistance there. so then I can move forward. You know, the last one I'm going to talk about is when you find yourself, if you find yourself during the week becoming way too serious. Like, you have not laughed at all today. You have not cracked a smile. You have not found joy in any other way. It's been a very serious, low vibrational day. Those are signs that you're in the shadow. Ask yourself, what was going on? What can you do? Does this really matter? Whatever you're focusing on, does it really matter to the big picture vision of your life? Is this how you want to feel throughout your days? If that's a no, if you want to experience more joy and happiness and peace and calmness, then release whatever that is. Work through whatever that is. Don't push it aside and ignore it, because that's just stuffing the feelings down and they'll come back up eventually. Work through it and release what's holding you back from experiencing life as you want to experience it. That's what you're being asked to do. Okay. I think I'll get off my soapbox for a little bit. If you're interested at all in the Light Mastery Map, it is a free download in my VIP portal. You can sign up for anything on my website, any of the free resources on my website, and access my VIP portal and download it so that it can help you through these weeks. Without further ado, let's get to the messages. Okay. The second message. When we're doing this work, it can it's not always easy, and it's not always comfortable. In fact, it's getting comfortable with being uncomfortable so that you can shift what you need to shift. So the second message here really aligns with that statement completely. So I want you to, this is what came through from my guides. Cautiously moving forward is still moving forward. Doubting yourself and avoiding or disconnecting from the situation delays and traps the energy within the body. I'm going to repeat those two sentences. Cautiously moving forward is still moving forward. Doubting yourself and avoiding or disconnecting from the situation delays and traps the energy within the body. So what does that feel like? What does that feel like? That can feel like tension that you're holding in your body. That is feeling like you are busy, or taking care of busyness. Busyness is different than taking care of business. Taking care of business is taking care of what matters most. What matters to move you forward. Busyness, even though it's spelt, busyness is doing the extra stuff, the fluff, to avoid what you're supposed to be doing, or because you were doubting what you were doubting in some way. You're not trusting yourself. You are not trusting yourself. And in that moment when you're not trusting yourself, you're not loving yourself enough to do what you need to do. And I am one. I spent years in this space. Years. Way too many years. And my guides are laughing at me right now. When you are in this space, you will find yourself repeating the same cycles of stuff over and over again, saying and complaining about the same stuff, doing and wondering why you're repeating the same stuff. Like you're driving along and all of a sudden, I've seen that exit before. How come this is deja vu. It's what can you do to stop feeling stuck? It's energetically, you'll feel stuck. You'll feel like you're repeating, you're going spinning in the same spot. You'll feel like you're stuck in a hole. You feel like you're stuck in the mud, in the weeds, and you're not getting anywhere. That's very much energetically a sign that you are on the wide pathway and you're using too much masculine energy. And you're not trusting yourself to move forward. So it's noticing that resistance, because masculine energy is about taking action and taking care of yourself in ways and knowing how to take care of yourself. But if there's resistance there, then you'll find yourself either doing nothing or doing way too much. And that's still masculine energy, but it's way too much masculine energy. When you're doing nothing, it's avoidance. Not always. Sometimes you are guided to slow down enough so that you can hear what you need to hear and take care of yourself energetically for your own well-being. That is different. Self-care is very different than avoidance. I want you to notice resistance. Now, resistance can feel like you're walking along and you're like getting pulled back. It's like you take one step, 5 steps forward and you get flung back and you're like back to square one, it feels like. Feels like you're like repeating the same stuff over and over again and you're not going anywhere. That is resistance. It can feel like you've put yourself in a box. It can feel like when you've asked a question, when you've asked your intuition, what's next, or what do I need to work on, or what is possible for my life, or whatever the question might be, and you don't get an answer, energetically, that's a wall that's gone up trying to stop you from seeing or hearing what you need to hear. And I've said this, I think, probably earlier on in this video, but it is notice the resistance, send yourself love, and explore what's behind there with childlike wonder. What is holding you back? What questions can you ask yourself to reignite the creativity within you, to heal and stop repeating old patterns? Is there something that has happened to you and you felt betrayed or hurt or traumatized, or it's bringing all those feelings back again? Is it possible that it's time to release and forgive? And it may be forgive of the other person, but it's also forgiving yourself for holding on to all of that. Even if you didn't know that's what you were doing, even if you didn't realize that you were doing it, woulda, coulda, shouldas. Release those. Just send yourself love and forgiveness. Send the other person energetically. You don't even have to talk to them. You don't have to call up these like people around the world going, you know, I forgive you for manipulating what I believed all these years. You don't have to do that. But energetically, you need to send love and forgiveness to the other person, and send love and forgiveness to yourself for not knowing what you didn't know and holding on to it for so long. And release yourself from all of it by cutting those energetic cords and allowing yourself the freedom to move forward and see what's possible for you. I'm sending you all love. I'm sending you all love. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey. As always, if you are watching this and it's not the complete version, the complete video, the full video is in Soul Talk and available for Soul Talk members. The information for Soul Talk membership is in the link below, and I want you to know that it is a community, a support community that will help, that is growing, and it's a passion project for me, so I'd love for you to join me. There's no obligation on how long you stay. It is completely up to you, but it has a ton of value for your growth journey. Yeah. For those that would like to share this video, like this video, or subscribe to my channel, please, thank you so much for sharing the love. Much, much appreciated. And if you'd like to give back in some way, there is a link for buying me a virtual coffee down below. It's not actually a coffee, but I use those funds to help support me and my family, so that I can continue making content like this for people like you. So thank you so much. Much love, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, be simply you. Thank you.